Bada boom, bada bang, bada bop. We are back today, and I am giving you my top 10 most anticipated shoes of 2026, the shoes that I think are gonna be the most exciting bangers next year. Now, if you're interested in running shoes, specifically the culture of running shoes, getting access to the newest shoes, knowing when inventory drops, also getting deals if you want to get deals from the best sites and deals from other hobby joggers if you want to get a deal on a shoe like the Superblast 2. Get in with us on the Supwell app. Supwell app is the best buy, sell, and trade marketplace for hobby joggers out there. It's also the best running shoe community and training community. People will buy a shoe like the Superblast or the Prime X Strung, put a few runs on it, it doesn't work for them, so they list it on the app well below MSRP. People are also racking and stacking mileage daily, getting after it, staying accountable, hitting their goals, and pulling you along with them. So get in with us if you're trying to bring your training to that grimy level, if you're trying to bring your shoe addiction to an elevated level, and enjoy today's video. Real hitters trying to go to bat for me. It's been a long day. Shorty, throw it back for me. That's what Drake said. That's hilarious, man. He had a lot of good bars on that. I'm going back to the old school days, man. It's Drake leaks, and it's funny because the algorithm just knows everything. So there's this new Drake song that leaked, or that he leaked. This is his new thing because he's trying to connect with Gen Z. So he leaks his own stuff on YouTube. It's called Skies Parted with Kodak. It's good, man. He's flowing like 2014 or 2015 on there. It's lawn care day, I think. I don't know if you can hear that. Yeah, I'm going to go through my most anticipated shoes of 2026 today. I've just been training, trying to get back in a flow, so I didn't want to do a new shoe review or take you out with my run today. And I'll throw out my run just for the people who do follow along. I was moving. I was just clipping it off so smooth right around 6:40 this morning in the Mega Blast. Preaching to the choir in the Mega Blast. I might make a boy retire in the Mega Blast. So yeah, I thought it'd be a fun time to do a look ahead video to 2026 as I reorient my training, man. I was traveling last week and then I think I got COVID or something. Yeah, this is the thing. Somebody at my company, because I was at the company retreat last week, they said yesterday they took a COVID test and it came back positive, which is fine. I mean, it's 2025. I've had COVID a few times, but it's just funny because a few years ago, people were so up in arms you couldn't do anything. And now we're just flying willy-nilly across the country, people getting COVID. I was telling you, people showed up in all sorts of bad ways to this thing. And now I have their sicknesses. Anyway, yeah, my COVID run. Still looking a lot better than some of these boys out there, because you know why? A lot of these guys love clout more than they love mileage, and it makes me sick. But top 10 most anticipated shoes of 2026. These are the shoes that I am the most hyped for. We have seen a lot of leaks out there, a lot of these shoes, pictures of them floating around. These are all shoes that are confirmed to be coming next year or maybe even later this year, some of them. So let's just get into it. I have the list on my phone. We could start with number 10. This is one where I don't even know why it's on this list, really. I don't know why I'm excited for it, but I have to be excited for it because it's the most popular shoe from Nike. It's one of the highest selling shoes out there, the Nike Pegasus 41. I'm excited for the Nike Pegasus 42, and we actually have seen some leaks of it. I think I saw a leak either on Instagram or Reddit. I'm not going to put the leak up here because you know what happens. The brands, they don't like that. And what they can do is they say that they own the picture and then they hit me with the copyright strike. This is what happened on Instagram, and New Balance tried to get my entire Instagram account deleted. So what I might do is put the whole list on the Supwell app That would be kind of fire, right? I got my own app. You can't censor me. So many kicks out here. They thought I was a centipede. Anyway, Pegasus 41. This is the classic workhorse daily trainer. This is the definition of a running shoe. This is the shoe that a lot of people think about when they think about putting on a shoe to go run. Now, the market has moved and Hoka has become a bigger name. The Mach 6 has started to steal some share from the Pegasus. Even the Rebel, which is not a personal favorite of mine, and I haven't seen it get that much pop in the latest generation, but people like it. The Rebel has now started to steal what the Pegasus used to be. The Evo SL, yeah, even shoes like the Evo SL have started to steal what the Pegasus used to be. That run club shoe, or just the default shoe that you might get. And then in Nike's own lineup, the Vomero 18 is a much better daily shoe than the Pegasus. So for me, in this generation, the 41, this is just a lost shoe. It's not delivering anything special or unique. And of course, there still is a place for a simple lower stack daily trainer or moderate stack daily trainer, but the formula here, it just is not good. The Brooks Hyperion 3 executes it much better. The Hoka Mach 6 executes it much better. What are some other shoes that execute it much better? They've got to be some of the Adizero SL2 by Adidas. So there's a lot of good workhorse daily trainers out there. I'm excited to see what Nike does in the Pegasus 42. And with the leak that I have seen, it looks like they are making 2 key changes that potentially will position it to be better. Now, they're both related to the geometry. It's Waist Pro putting in work. The first key change, it looks like in the Pegasus 42. The first key change is it looks like they're lowering the drop, so potentially not a 10 millimeter drop. Out. I know people say they can't hear it. You can't hear how loud the lawnmowers and the blowers are. The thing is, I can hear it. Also, why are there, you see this? Both of the laces are through this hole. Yeah, I can hear it, and then it just makes it so much more challenging for me. It adds to the level of difficulty. And because I have COVID, my brain is already foggy right now. I'm operating on about 70% or something, so yeah, I don't know. It's tough out here. There's no such thing as perfect conditions. This is what I always try to say. There's no such thing as perfect weather. You're never going to be 100% fresh. You're never going to feel all the way ready to go, so we just have to push through. Yeah, it looks like they're making it a lower drop or potentially just more of a rocker. The toe spring that I saw on the leak, I think this was on Reddit, was way better than this. I also hope that they change the foam, so that's the biggest thing. And I think the leak still said React X, but this version of React X, the impact absorption is good, but it just gets so gummy and really gives no bounce. Now, I know there's a lot of no bounce defenders out there, and when I was doing the Adidas Evo, the $500 race shoe, is it called, the Pro Evo 2, when I did that revisit workout last week, somebody said it's not designed to be bouncy. One of these no bounce defenders. Yeah, I don't know. In 2025 or 2026, if a shoe's not bouncy, it's going to get trashed on this channel. So hopefully this could be bouncy. And I'm not saying every shoe needs to be the Hoka Skyward X or the Vomero Premium or the Mag Max. No, I understand there's a place for lower stack shoes. That's why I always talk about what a shoe's intended purpose is. It's just, with a shoe like this, there's just such a competitive market right now. The Hyperion 3s of the world, the Adizero SL2s of the world. I mean, any brand out there, you could pick their standard daily trainer, and it's likely a more enjoyable ride than the Pegasus. Even the Brooks Go 17, for me, was a more enjoyable ride than this. It's lighter. It had that supercritical EVA foam. So I am hoping that Nike does not just rest on their laurels, which they have been doing for the past few years with the Pegasus. They know, hey, this is going to be in every sporting goods store out there, and people are going to buy it because of the swoosh. But the whole reason that I do shoe reviews on this channel is so that people don't buy mid. Right? That's the whole point. So, yeah, they're going to get trashed if it doesn't have some more of a bounce or exciting ride to it, or at least just bring something different. Hopefully this is more than the assistant offensive line coach shoe in 2026. All right. Number 9. Yeah, watching the Lions and Ravens last night. That was a good game until the end, and I was just gutted for Derrick Henry when he fumbled there. And then, I don't know if anyone was watching this, so Derrick Henry fumbles in the fourth quarter, and it's what swings the game because the Ravens could have done a nice drive down and taken control of the game. I think they would have taken the lead there or at least tied it, but he lost the ball, and then the Lions just went off and won. And in one of these commercial breaks leading up into it, they were just doing the slow motion close-up of Derrick Henry's face as after he fumbled on the sidelines, just and then immediately after, it's a State Farm commercial with Derrick Henry talking about how you need the right King Henry to play football, not the old school King Henry, the OG King Henry from the United Kingdom. So it was just a terrible juxtaposition, just showing him in pain and agony, and then it cuts to a hilarious State Farm commercial. So I hope Derrick Henry can get back on track. He's one of the 30-plus-year-olds still holding it down and putting in work. And it's funny because fumbling is not an issue that relates to age at all. It's just he's just having a bad season with the fumbles, and he looks so good athletically for a 31-year-old. So hopefully he can get it back on track. Oh, the other thing is somebody was upset on Instagram because we said the Ravens were disappointing in primetime on our graphic we did comparing them to Hoka, just like the Hoka race shoes are disappointing. And they were saying we were being Ravens haters, and they tried to give me all this data about how the Ravens were good in primetime. Well, this year, you've been pretty disappointing in primetime, Ravens. Lost to the Bills, and you lost to the Lions. So don't come at me about ball. I know ball. People try to think I don't know ball because I'm dropping mileage. The thing is, I know ball and I drop mileage. All right, number 9. Magic Speed 5. This is the Magic Speed 4. And it's solid. I would put this in the solid ranking. If we do one of those, I think we'll probably do one of those tier lists for the speed shoes. We haven't done it yet on the Instagram. I'd put this in the solid camp. I don't think we could put it in the banger tier anymore just because the market has evolved so much, but at times it was in the banger tier for me. I don't know. I really like this, but we have seen the market shift now where you have speedy shoes, you have the daily trainers, and then you have the cruisers. So even in Asics Zone Camp, you have the cruiser shoe like a Sonic Blast, then you have a speedy shoe like a Mega Blast. And with this, especially with the Mega Blast releasing, I don't know why anybody would buy this. And then the other thing is, I'm not sure that this is any faster than something like the Hoka Mach X, but it's not as comfortable. The upper isn't as refined. And then the foam in here, it just isn't as good as the new stuff releasing. So when it came out last year, it was good. I think even then it was maybe on the line of being outdated. And now it's pretty outdated. And Asics just has a very crowded lineup with all the Blast shoes, all of which are fantastic, by the way. And Superblast is not my personal favorite, but a lot of people like it, and it has a defined purpose. So right now, this is a shoe searching for what it should be. And in the 5, I'm super excited about it because in the leaks we've seen, FF Leap is going to be in it. So that new soft and bouncy foam on the top layer, and it looks like they're bringing the stack height down. So instead of being this higher stack speed shoe that's not the fastest with the full carbon plate, it looks like it's going to be more of a dedicated track style shoe, interval shoe, a shorter, faster training shoe, maybe a more amped up Adios 9, or thinking back to maybe even a Takumi Sen 8 type of shoe, one of those banger speed trainers that has a really energetic ride. That is my hope for what the Magic Speed could become. And if you think of the name Magic Speed, that's what we want. We don't want a long distance cruiser. We don't need a 44 millimeter stack height behemoth in a shoe named the Magic Speed. So I'm super excited to see what they do with it. All the Blast shoes are bangers. Everything Asics is cooking up right now is solid. I mean, look at this. It's my dad drip shoe of the year right here. Can you see this? Hold on. Let me get on my, what's her name? Simone Biles out here. I might have to hit him with the slow-mo. Ugh. That's the Nimbus 27 TR for all you guys out there who don't know ball. All right, number 8. Shout out Lamar Jackson, RIP Kobe. Saucony Azura. So next year, Saucony will finally be dropping a non-plated Power Run PB shoe about 3 or 4 years too late maybe, but I don't know. A good shoe is a good shoe. If it's a banger, it can compete. The Power Run PB in here is still solid. I was one of the few who actually still really liked the Saucony Endorphin Speed 5, but I think with the way that the market has developed and evolved for the shoe enthusiasts, not many people are going for this because, again, like with the Magic Speed, not very many people want a do-it-all shoe that has this lower stack and more flexible feel. Either they're going for the Neo Vista 2 that also has the plastic plate and the comfort, or even something like the Hyperion Max 3 that has the more aggressive feel and the stiff carbon plate, or they're just going to go for a comfortable max cushion shoe, a long-distance cruiser, right? So another one of these shoes that's maybe lost its appeal. Not even maybe. It has definitely lost its high-end appeal in the shoe sicko community. It's still a shoe that is a high seller, and it's like I've said, the Cliff Bar of running shoes, but the Azura is going to remove the plate and do 100% non-plated Power Run PB. Now, I don't 100% know if they're bringing it to the US market. I've seen this leak on a page that is not exclusively dedicated to the US market, so it's possible that this will only be a Asian market shoe, but regardless, it's cool that Saucony's doing that. We have never seen a non-plated Power Run PB shoe. Actually, was the Saucony Sinister non-plated Power Run PB? I think it might have been, but we haven't seen a non-plated Power Run PB training shoe. The Sinister was a very low stack, more track style or 5K racing shoe, so I'm excited to see how that does. And with the Superblast being out for so long, and even shoes like the Topo Spectre being out for so long, it's long overdue that Saucony gives the world 100% non-plated race day or race foam shoe. The Endorphin Trainer is getting scrapped, unfortunately. I really like that, so we'll see if it can be that cruiser in the lineup. All right, number 7. Mike Vick. New Balance Ellipse. Now, speaking of non-plated race foam, the Balos was a shoe that was also disappointing, that people thought could have been that Superblast competitor. It never quite 100% lived up to that, and it's a soft shoe, it's a comfortable shoe, it's got a great rocker geometry. It's like my flu game. Also, it's hot out here, man. That's the thing. I'm trying to rep the new merch because it's fall. Okay, let me throw on the PR Weather super shirt. It's fire. Nice heavyweight. You got the, where is it? Got the embroidery. Look at that, the embroidered S, the embroidered PR Weather on the chest. It's dang near 80 degrees. This is not PR Weather, so this is going in the mailbox. Can't even appropriately push the merch, so I'm in the OG Subwell shirt now. I might have to bring these back. What do you think? I know a lot of people like these. I mean, think about once we do the permanent collection, bringing these back as one of the pieces, because people ask me for this dang near every week, it seems like. Anyway, New Balance Balos wasn't a huge hit. New Balance is introducing a new max cushion shoe next year called the Ellipse. I've heard it's coming March 2026. This was actually the shoe that New Balance got all upset about at us and tried to delete our Instagram account over. And this was the thing. They said it was a copyright. We used their copyright material on our page. Someone sent us a picture of a leak, and we posted that. Is that their copyright material? I don't think so, but here's the thing. In 2025, it doesn't matter. The platforms have all the power. Individual voices don't have power. It doesn't matter who you are. It's the platform. So guess what? We have our own platform. You can't cancel the Subwell app. Don't play with me. New Balance Ellipse. I'm actually not sure if it's going to be a max cushion cruiser or maybe a more stability-oriented version of the 1080, but I've heard it's releasing alongside the 1080. Hopefully it has a new foam. Hopefully it retains some of what made the Balos good. I don't think we're going to be seeing a Balos 2. Maybe I'm wrong. But what was good about this shoe was the beautiful rocker geometry, the softness of the foam. It's a very fun feeling shoe. Just didn't have the mass appeal. $200. Non-plated. Doesn't feel the highest stack. Again, another shoe that got caught in the no man's land. So hopefully the Ellipse will not get caught in the no man's land. It will be a banger. This is the biggest question mark for me on this list. What is the Ellipse going to be? I've also heard rumors that the SC Trainer V3 or V4 is getting canceled. So no more SC Trainer, which is just wild because the SC Trainer V1 was legendary. It's not actually a shoe that I like, but that was ahead of its time. It did what the Skyward X successfully accomplished as well, which is that heavier shoe with a very protective feel and the balance, putting a carbon fiber plate in a tall shoe that is not designed for speed. Very much ahead of its time, and then New Balance just lost its way with that shoe. And the other key thing that they did wrong over the past few years, they shifted away from TPU to PIBA and EVA. It's so sad because they had this beautiful version of supercritical TPU in the SC Trainer V1, V2, and the Rebel V3, and then they've shifted toward this EVA PBA blend as we see brands getting away from it. So there are rumors that they're going more toward a TPU-based foam in the future, and if they do that, hopefully the Ellipse is a banger. All right, next up on this list, number 6. Shout out Baker Mayfield, dude. Baker Mayfield is balling out this year. He also, I don't know if anyone saw the clip. Somebody was asking him about Tyrod Taylor, and they said Tyrod, and he said, put some respect on his name. It's pronounced Tyrod. That's why I put Baker Mayfield on my list of quarterbacks that I'm rooting for this year. And he's a baller, man. And the thing about Baker Mayfield, I also saw this post floating around. They had him lined up when he was on the Panthers here, one of the worst run franchises in professional sports. Carolina Panthers makes me sick. They had him lined up playing defensive end on the practice squad. And now he's balling out. He's a dog, man. I woke up feeling dangerous. All right, number 6. Saucony Endorphin Pro 5. I'm super excited about the Pro 5 because it is delivering a bigger stack of this foam right here, the Power Run HG. This is one of the least utilized foams on the market, or the most underutilized foams on the market. It's like if you have a star wide receiver and you're throwing it to him twice per game. What are you doing, man? You got to get that target rate up. This is the same thing Saucony has done with Power Run HG. This is one of the best race foams out there. Very similar to the Sky Paris and Edge Paris foam in terms of the slightly firmer, bouncy feeling. I think this is actually maybe even superior to that version of, what was it called? Was that FF Turbo Plus? Yeah, I really like this Power Run HG, and they haven't put it in anything other than a very thin layer on the top of the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4, which doesn't really do much of anything. Doesn't really add much to the shoe. So in the Endorphin Pro 5, from the leaks that we are seeing, and I can throw up a picture of this. Shout out to Fleet Feet and Brandon Rossi over there, because I think he took these pictures. I'm going to throw up these pictures here. You can see that they wrapped the foam around the heel more, so it looks like they're going to position this more as a stability racer, but we are getting a thick layer of the Power Run HG. So hopefully it's faster than the Endorphin Pro 4. Struggling, man. Hopefully it's faster than the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4 and can bring to market a ride that harkens back to the Endorphin Elite OG. This is the shoe that I used to run my 239 at Chicago. This is actually also the shirt that I was wearing when I ran that 239 at Chicago. So this shoe has a special place in my heart. It's a no-nonsense, get-the-job-done type of shoe. Saucony went way left field to the other, I don't even know. They went from playing baseball to playing cricket, and the Endorphin Elite 2 with that soft, wild, wacky foam. Not personally for me as a race shoe. It's an enjoyable ride for some steady miles sometimes, but it's not going to be the one I am picking for a marathon PR attempt. I really hope that the Endorphin Pro 5 can deliver that. I'm just worried, though, that they've neutered the Endorphin Pro ever since the 3, and they now are making it just a slightly slower shoe, which it's not bad, right? There's shoes like the Rocket X3, which are stability race shoes that are designed for that 4-hour marathon now, and I'm glad that we do have more of those shoes. But with the Endorphin Elite 2 being so wild and wacky, Saucony should also have a fast race shoe option. It's almost like what Nike does with the Vaporfly and the Alphafly. Vaporfly is not my favorite. It's a very mediocre shoe, but at least you still can run fast in it. And with Saucony right now, both of their race shoes are now, not top 5 contenders. So hopefully the Endorphin Pro 4 will become that top 5 contender, or Pro 5. I'm not 100% convinced that's the case, because it looks like more of a comfort-oriented upper. It almost looks like they took the Endorphin Speed 5 and beefed it up. But either way, it should be a banger long-run shoe, probably a banger training shoe, and I'm excited to pick it up when it comes out. All right. Next up, number 5. We're in the top 5 right now. I was doing athletes, but it's too hard now. I'm hungry too, so I can't always think. You just gotta ride the vibes, you know. Sometimes it's the vibe to say an athlete, sometimes it's not. 5, I can't even really think of anything. Anyway, number 5, Adidas Prime Evo X, that's what it's called. It's the new ultra marathon racing shoe that they debuted a month or 2 ago. The shoe I am holding right here, this is the Adidas Prime X Strung OG. And the reason I'm excited for that new one, the Prime Evo X or whatever it's called, is because it seems like it's the true spiritual successor to the Prime X Strung. How I have always thought about this shoe, or at least since I ran in it the first time about a year ago. I was late to the Prime X Strung OG party. How I've always thought about this shoe is the most amped up version of a race shoe possible. Now, with illegal running shoes, do I have any out here? I do. I have one. I'm going to save it, though. With the illegal running shoes, nearly all of them, the Skyward X, the Mag Max, the Endorphin Trainer, the Glycerin Max, all these shoes, the Vomero Premium, that are coming out 45 millimeters plus in the heel, they're designed for long distance cruising. They're designed, yes, to have some speed capability, but mainly for impact absorption, for protection, for going out there for a long time on feet. The Prime X Strung OG was different. This was, hey, let's make the fastest marathon shoe, or the best marathon shoe possible, and disregard any sort of constraints related to the World Athletics regulation that says you need to have below 40 millimeters in the heel. So that's what makes this thing different, right? So they didn't go for the most stability. They didn't try to make it the most comfortable thing. Now, it's not uncomfortable. It is slightly unstable, but it is very fast. And it's one of these shoes very similar to the Mega Blast. I actually think the Mega Blast might be the most similar to this out of any of the shoes you could buy available right now. But it's one of those shoes where you can run normal in it, but once you step on it and pick up the pace, it just flies. It has all the speed of the race shoe, but then the protection of an illegal max stack training shoe. So Evo Prime X, to me, that looks very similar. Doing his rounds, picking up the Instagram clout chasers. Prime X Evo, I honestly have no idea what it's called. You know what I'm talking about. It's white and black. I can throw up pictures of this because they did the whole event. And yeah, they did this event. Were they trying to break the 50K or 60-mile record? I don't know. I'm not all the way tapped into these things that these brands do, but they were trying to break some sort of road ultra marathon record with the shoe, and they had a lot of guys who were putting their heart on the line in this shoe, and it looks like a complete... So similar to this, it's designed to be the fastest possible racing shoe for long distance. Adidas didn't do that sort of a press event for the Prime X Strung 3, right? They didn't try to have people break records in that. No, because that has now drifted to being one of these more comfort shoes. That is a really weird shoe. I like it, but it's a really weird shoe. I actually haven't done a 20-mile long run in it. So the new Evo Prime X feels like what this should be in 2026. Feels like it's going to be delivering the next generation of the OG Prime X Strong. This is a very special shoe. I wish they would have just kept it in the family and kept this with that same formula. But yeah, they've decided to deviate. Now, another shoe from Adidas that I'm excited about, I actually didn't even include it on this list officially. I just thought of it right now. The Supernova Rise and the Supernova Prima. If you watch my Prima 2 review that I did, I was pretty disappointed in that shoe. The ride of it is fine, but just compared to all the other brands' offerings, even Nike Vomero Plus or Premium, even Saucony Endorphin Trainer, even, let's see, from Asics, of course, compared to the Nimbus or the Superblast, Adidas doesn't quite have that shoe in their lineup right now. They don't have the $170 to $200 shoe that's an absolute banger for comfort. They don't have a Glizzy Max. They don't have a Nimbus or a Glide Ride Max. The Prima is fine, but it's not that. So it looks like in the next generations of the Rise and the Prima, they're delivering more on the comfort promise. So that was always the entire purpose behind the Supernova franchise, which is let's give the most comfortable rides out there as possible. They've always been fine. I've thought about those shoes as the absence of anything bothersome, but they're not giving me that next level where, yeah, I can go out and run an 8-mile run in them, but am I going to do a 16 piece? Am I going to pull those for a 140-mile week where I'm trying to grit it out and I want my legs to be the most pampered? No, they're good standard shoes, and it looks like the Rise and the Prima are going to be better than that from the leaks I've seen in the next generation. And what they've done are stripped out the bottom support rod. So they've always had this kind of weird setup with the Rise and the Prima, where on the bottom you have standard EVA. It's these hard pieces of foam that provide more stability, but also dampens the ride, because the main foam in there is something called Dream Strike Plus, which they've always referenced as a PIBA foam or as a super foam. And with that EVA on the bottom, I felt like it's always just restraining the foam and it's not allowing it to breathe and be as special as it potentially could be. So I'm thinking, hey, maybe it'll be softer, bouncier, more comfortable, more fun, better for time on feet, and less of a standard feeling franchise in the Supernova Rise 3 and Supernova Prima 3. All right, moving our way up the list. Number 4, we always got to shout out Adam Vinatieri for number 4. As a New England Patriots fan, man, he is just the definition of a winner to me, because when I was growing up, it's okay, you see Adam Vinatieri coming on the field, it's game over. He's a cold-blooded killer. Kids these days, they don't even know. Kids these days, they only know Cairo Santos and Justin Tucker. Ugh. Harrison Butker is pretty solid. Who's the Bills kicker? See, I already forget because he's not playing this year. Matt Prater is the kicker now, but who's their kicker? I always get him on my team the past few years. Tyler Bass, he's pretty solid too. And now we have these new cats coming up, right? Tyler Loop on the Ravens. Brandon Aubrey is pretty good too. And the thing with the new guys, the new kickers, they're in the 30s now, the numbers, number 33 and 39. It's so weird to me that the NFL did that a few years ago, where they switched the numbers and they allow players to be any number they want. Because now the most desirable numbers are the single-digit numbers. So you get a star wide receiver, somebody like, or even just a solid wide receiver. For example, someone like Jameson Williams from the Lions last night and Jahmyr Gibbs. I was watching with Mason, and she said, oh, wow, number 0 and number 1 are really good. Yeah, so the best guys on the team are going to be 0 and 1, like Jahmyr Gibbs and Jameson Williams. So then that leaves the kickers going for numbers that nobody wants, like a number 39. Meanwhile, I see a number 39, and I think it's going to be a hard-hitting safety. Or I think it's going to be a chippy little running back. But the running backs now, it's something like a number 6. Like, what are we doing here, man? Society's all mixed up. So I was saying on my Strava today, the problem with society is a severe deficit in mileage. Number 4, Hoka ATPU Road Racer. That is the shoe that I am the 4th most excited about for next year. So this is their current top-tier marathon racer, Cielo 2.0, and very similar to a lot of these shoes that I've brought out, was disappointing for me. And I guess that's the theme of this video. The shoes that I'm most excited for are the follow-ups to the shoes that were slightly disappointing, but also I just think these have the most potential. Right? If something's already a banger, I'm not going to be super excited for the next one. I'm not going to bring out the Mega Blast, as I'm super excited for the Mega Blast 2. No, because the Mega Blast is already great. But this one was just, good concept, poor execution. It's the classic definition. The weight is solid for how much foam you're getting. I love that they're doing the creative trickeration, stretching the limits of what is legally allowed. So you can only have 40 millimeters in the back, and they're stuffing 50 millimeters in the midfoot here. The geometry is great, and everything about the shoe seems like it's gonna be a banger. It has two different kind of types of foam here, 2 layers of foam. It's PIBA, but the foams themselves are just fine. They're just fine. They're not bad. And this is the thing with testing everything on the market. You can buy this shoe and you can run fast in it and it'll be fine. But if you compare it to literally every other race shoe, then we have to grade on a curve, and I have to grade on a curve. So that's the privilege, and I think also the problem of reviewing everything, that sometimes people will buy a shoe, and then because they haven't tested anything, they'll say, what are you talking about? This is the fastest shoe I've ever tried. Well, yeah, if you've tried 3 plated shoes before, this probably is going to be the fastest shoe you've ever tried. Anyway, I've been realizing lately, sometimes I just sound like a jerk, but I think that's just my personality, and people always say be yourself, so I'm just going to accept it. I think I just have to accept it. Yeah, I've tried more carbon shoes than everybody else. I run more miles than everybody else. I'm faster than 99% of people out there. I don't know. I'm sorry. Hoka ATPU. So on the trail side, they just came out with the shoe called the Rocket X Trail, and part of me is perplexed and slightly annoyed that they dropped the awesome foam first on the trail side, but then a part of me also can appreciate it because they started off as a trail brand. The whole idea behind Hoka came because the founders were bombing down a mountain, and they were saying, man, how could we give ourselves as runners the same experience as these mountain bike guys have when they're bombing down the mountains on the suspension? How can we make it feel so much fluffier and lighter and like we're running on clouds? So that's where the OG Cliftons and Bandais and even whatever other shoes they had back in the day, that's where it all came from on the trail running side, mountain running. That is the identity of Hoka. So I understand why they dropped the Rocket X Trail first, and it's probably the truest expression of what Hoka should be and what it is. It is a brand defining type of shoe. They're putting their best foam in their pinnacle peak race shoe. Maybe I'll pick that up and try it out. So I understand why they did that, and I'm really looking forward to see how they integrate that on the road side. The Cielo OG was a really cool shoe and very much gave you that bombing down the mountain on a mountain bike with air suspension type of feel. Very supportive, very stable, very cushiony. This one went in a different direction, trying to be more aggressive, trying to be faster. Again, the concept is good, execution not quite there. If they updated this with the ATPU foam, that could immediately be a banger. Maybe even just one layer of it be the ATPU foam. That could be a banger. And who else, or who knows what else they could do with that foam. Maybe they put it in the Mach X4. Maybe they put it in the Mach 8. We've already seen the Mach 7, or just any other shoes. Now, I want to see them blast it all across the lineup, no pun intended, like Asics is doing with the FF Turbo Plus and FF Leap in the Blast shoes. Which brings me to number 3, which is not a Blast shoe. I thought it was going to be. I messed up there. Sometimes the segues are all mixed up and messed up. Number 3, New Balance 1080 V15. So we've been doing these comparisons on Instagram, basketball players to shoes. I compared the New Balance 1080 to Steph Curry because it's got the soft touch. It's an icon, and it hasn't really been competitive since 2023. Maybe I was too harsh. I said it hasn't been good since 2023, and a lot of people said Steph was good in the Olympics. That's true. And then he got injured in the playoffs. That was sad last year because I was rooting for him because I now feel old. I'm not old. I turned 30 last week. I feel old, though, because I've been in the game for a while. All of the stars that I grew up with are long gone, man, are long gone. And then these other stars that I've identified with maybe later in life, the Steph Currys of the world, they're starting to get up there, man, or they're up there, they're aging out. I have a Steph Curry jersey from when I lived in the Bay one summer with my brother, and it's Adidas. It's an Adidas Steph Curry jersey. How long has NBA been with Nike? So I've been a Steph fan for a long time, man. No disrespect to Steph Curry. Be a soft touch in the 1080. Legendary. The 1080 V13, one of my favorite shoes. That goes on my top 10 list for sure. Maybe even top 5 list. Put 300 plus miles on it. It's still kicking around my dad drip rotation. I might slip it on occasionally. I've phased it out now that I have the Nimbus TR, but I might slip it on to do some lawn work or something like that. So awesome shoe. 1080 V14 here. This was good for me when it first came out, and then I've revisited it a few times, and it's not up to par with everything else. Very similar to the More V6 that I tried this year. It is just so flat, lifeless, and does not have any bounce. Now, again, some people say or think a running shoe does not need bounce. I just don't believe that. So I guess if you're in the anti-bounce camp, maybe start your own channel or start your own marketing campaign or propaganda machine or something. But my belief system is that a running shoe should have some sort of energy return or energetic feel to it, or at least not feel like it's sapping the life out of your legs. And that was a critique that people had with the 1080 V13. I never felt that. It was always light and peppy to me and fun. This one, just with how it's aged, has just not done that for me. And it feels like it's only good for running if you're on fresh legs. I think this is the divide as well. People get on me because I've tried so many shoes, and I can say that the Cielo is mid compared to the market. They also get on me because they say, you're running so much mileage, you experience these shoes differently. Well, yeah, if a shoe's not good for running high mileage, it's not a very good running shoe. That's the definition of mid. If it's not the best of the best, or if it's not even better than most things out there, that's the definition of mid. Anyway, 1080 V15. Word on the street, confirmed via multiple sources, suggested also, and cross-referenced via leaks. Brandon Law's Instagram account had a leak. Allegedly, we'll be bringing ATPU foam to the market. So another theme of this video here, ATPU foam coming on market more in 2026. That's the new frontier. PIBA is the old guard. PIBA's not bad. PIBA's almost like EVA now, and hopefully this means the price of PIBA shoes will be lowering. I don't think we should phase out PIBA. I think we should keep it. Keep a shoe like the Saucony Endorphin Speed and offer it at $150. That'd be awesome. So ATPU foam in the New Balance 1080 V15. Hopefully this delivers us a worthy daily trainer out of the New Balance camp, a worthy high mileage shoe, just a shoe that I want to run in out of New Balance. Because right now there's nothing in their lineup that I want to run in, man. I think the New Balance shoe that gets the most pull for me is my Made in USA 993. That's my date night shoe. That's my work travel shoe. I didn't bring it on this last trip because I knew we were going to be doing mountain stuff and hiking, so I took the Nimbus TR. But currently, that's my most used New Balance shoe. And my second most used New Balance shoe is the More V6 for walking. So they currently do not have a shoe that I enjoy running in out of their recent releases. They are lagging behind the market. They used to be a top 3 brand, maybe even my favorite brand 2023, 2024, but they are just so far behind when it comes to the materials right now. I don't care if you like the 1080 V14. We all have to admit it is behind the market. If you look at what Mizuno is doing with the Neo Zen, if you look at what Puma is doing with the Magnify and the Velocity, man, it just does not compete. If you look at what Asics is doing with any of their shoes, even what I'm wearing right now, the Turbo, what is this called? No, not Turbo. Blast, the Blast Plus. Even the Blast Plus is a better training foam than this. So, yeah, decent for doing 30-minute jogs, taking the dog out, taking the trash out, but not a top-tier, high-mileage training shoe. Even Skechers is dropping bigger bangers than New Balance. So I am hopeful that the 1080 V15 can return the 1080 franchise to the pinnacle, because the V13 was so good. I know people liked the V12 and some of those shoes before, but the V13 was a really special shoe, iconic shoe, maybe a polarizing or divisive shoe. And what they did with the V14 is also they changed the formula slightly to make it firmer, to remove some of what made it special in the V13 to appeal to more people. But guess what? If you sand off those rough edges, you lose a lot of character. So another shoe that potentially, possibly, maybe got neutered in this generation. Hopefully they give it more of an identity again in the V15 and make it a viable shoe for racking and stacking mileage. Because right now it's just stacking lint bunnies, stacking dust bunnies on the bottom of my shoe shelf. Yeah, I got something like 150 shoes. I ain't pulling this thing. Number 2. The number 2 shoe I am most excited about next year. Bang. Man, it's really sunny out here. It's always sunny in Mint Hill. It's actually not true. It's about to be rainy for the next, I think, 6 days. I got to do a big workout soon. It's just brutal. Just looking at the weather here, man. Tomorrow, low of 67, high of 88. Thursday, low of 70, high of 84 with 60% chance of rain. Friday, 75% chance of rain. Saturday, 80% chance of rain with a lightning emoji. Sunday, 55% chance of rain. From Thursday to next Thursday, look at this. Look at this. I don't know if you can even see that. Just rain. Rain, rain, rain. Anyway, Asics Superblast 3, the shoe that I am second most excited for next year. Reason I'm excited for this guy, very similar to some of these other shoes, updating to that ATPU or TPU based foam. They are going to be putting FF Leap on the top. Now, you know how much I love the Mega Blast. If you've watched this channel at all in the past month, I ran it today. I did the 10-piece this morning in the Mega Blast. It's fire. It's a banger. It's the best shoe of all time. This guy, for me, just did not hit the bottom foam here. I think the FF Turbo dampens the ride of it, and it's just super stiff. I can't get it going. I've sung the song too many times. I don't need to do it again today, but I'm hoping that the new version can fix some of the issues with this. And what I'm also hoping and thinking and hypothesizing is that, yeah, the Mega Blast is great. The Mega Blast is a crazy banger, but it is a very speedy shoe. I mean, the run this morning, I was clipping off 630 and 640 pace miles, and it feels perfect there. When I'm slower, even 730 and especially 8 and slower, it is not the best for me. And I've heard that echoed by other people as well, that you got to be running with strength for the Mega Blast to feel optimal. So I'm hoping that the Super Blast will be more of that shoe that allows you to run relaxed, but offers the bounce and the comfort and the long distance capability. The current Super Blast does that for a certain group of people. I know a lot of people who are bigger runners really like it for that. Maybe if your foot hits the ground in a certain way. I don't even think it's heel striking versus midfoot striking versus forefoot striking. It's just you have to have a very specific foot strike or size for this to work, and then for a certain other group of people it doesn't. So I'm hoping that the Super Blast 3 can retain what the current people like about it, but also bring in the newer people to be that long distance cruiser. The Sonic Blast was really good for me actually in terms of doing that. It felt like more of a cruiser, but because of the plastic plate in there, it has this snap. It does feel slightly more energetic. So if the Super Blast can be that shoe at the top of the cruiser lineup for Asics, I almost said New Balance before Asics, that would be the perfect Super Blast 3 for me. This is a very special shoe. The weight is low. You get that max stack. You can go long in it. It just doesn't hit for everybody. I'm glad that they have the Mega Blast, and maybe with the Mega Blast you won't even need the Super Blast 3, but that is the one area that the Mega Blast has a deficiency. It's the relaxed running comfort, and it's not bad or anything. I would gladly take that as my one shoe. I've done recovery runs in it. It's fine. But if you're going to make the argument for the Super Blast 3 even having a place, it's to offer that long run comfort, the bounce, the more relaxed capability. So that is what I'm hoping out of the Super Blast 3, and I'm very excited to see what they do with the FF Leap. Also, I love the FF Leap in the Metaspeed Ray. So, I mean, you can't go wrong putting it in the Super Blast 3, right? Let's hope. Let's hope. Let's hope it's not the Super Brick 3. I'm hungry, man. I should have done a halftime, brought out some orange slices or something. Got some body armor. I really need to stop giving brands free promo. I need some sponsors, man. I guess I'm the sponsor. But the thing is, I can't pay myself. So it just doesn't hit the same. I don't have checks coming in like that. Anyway, number one shoe I'm most excited for in 2026, Nike Alphafly 4. This is the Alphafly 3. We know basically nothing about the Alphafly 4 except that it's going to have AirPods in it and it's going to have a full-length carbon fiber plate. I don't even think we can say we know it's going to have ZoomX. Maybe they update it to a new foam. No, I'm guessing they're going to hold on to ZoomX. Nike is holding on to ZoomX for dear life, man. We're ready for a new foam from Nike, but no, ZoomX. I don't even think they've really updated the formula that much. Maybe they should give us a ZoomX 2.0 or something. That would be cool from the Alphafly 4. But yeah, this has been on the market for a long time. What I hope from it is that they reduce the weight, just bring it more in line with the current crop of shoes. We have shoes like the Metaspeed Ray, which is priced the same as the Alphafly. I think this is technically $295. That's $300, but that thing is 138 grams or 140 grams in my size. This is 220. 220, man. That's just crazy. So, yeah, just on paper, this is a step behind, similar to the 1080. Now, the difference is the ride of this is still super enjoyable. It's still a shoe that I love for long runs. It's still a shoe that I love for workouts. So just because a bunch of bangers came out, it's almost like the Magic Speed. I still like running in the Magic Speed. There's just a lot of better options, and I'm not going to recommend someone buy the Magic Speed anymore because there's so many better shoes out there. The Alphafly, I still will recommend people to buy it, but I'm not going to pick this for a race. And if you're going for a sub 230, sub 220, sub 215, just the absolute peak performance, I wouldn't recommend this anymore. The Puma Fast R3 is now the fastest shoe on the market. So with the developments in lightweight, with the developments in foam, the ATPU is coming, with the developments in the plate geometry, with the Fast R3 having the protruding lip plate, Nike has some catching up to do. And the thing about Nike is they've never proven to us they can catch up. They like leading the race with a head start and then waiting for others to do it. So we haven't seen Nike drop anything innovative in a while. The Streakfly 2 was good, and that was suggesting they could do something innovative, maybe with the geometry. So it'll be cool to see if they bring some geometry changes to this. Do they bring a new foam? How are they going to get the weight down? Or are they just going to give us something around 200 grams with slight changes to the contouring of the foam like they did with the Vaporfly 4? That would be the most disappointing version of this, because there's ways that you could get this down to 200 just by making it slimmer. Maybe they change the plate placement to make it, or the pod placement to make it feel more aggressive. That would be pretty disappointing. I'm hoping that they can deliver us a real step change, something on par with at least the Metaspeed Tokyo, if not the Metaspeed Ray. So there you go. Those are my 10 most anticipated shoes of 2026. I'm hungry and I have a meeting. Let me know what shoes you are most excited for. Let me know which shoes I forgot. Let me know why I'm wrong. Let me know I don't know. Just let me know something. Let me know something. I appreciate you. We'll be back grinding. I guess we were grinding today. I still got a 10-piece in, fighting off COVID or something. Don't play with me. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Boy's trying to take me out with COVID. I haven't been scared of COVID since 2020. I told you yesterday, I've dropped 16 milers with COVID. I've dropped 20 milers with COVID. Dropped 10 miles today, potentially with COVID, at a 6:40 pace. Talking about COVID shots, these boys need a mileage shot. Maybe we should invent a mileage shot. Get a little bit of mileage in their system first, because right now, a lot of these guys are acting like they're allergic to the mileage.